Are you someone who deals with Quest 2 fog inside on the lens all the time? I've been using a BroVR fan forever. I love it, takes care of the fog. It blows the air out, but we got another contender stepping in, BroVR, looking to change up the fan game with what they're calling is an ultra quiet fan. Let's test that out. Tape on the box means we gotta pull out the ultra small, sharp unboxing knife. Ultra small to go with that ultra quiet. Probably the fan. Facial interface. Comes with one pad already attached. Does not come with an alternate pad. Some of them do these days. A cleaning cloth and a tiny little USB-C to USB-C cable. Facial interface is pretty much all hard plastic. Has some of the same, they did something I've never seen done on another one of these actually. So what a lot of these do to vent that air, whether it's blowing in or blowing out, it needs somewhere for the air to either push out or pull in. They usually put vents along the bottom or somewhere else. This has a very odd vent. It's right here and it's actually only built into the foam. So if you were to replace the foam, it may not necessarily still be there. But the weird thing, if I were able to get a good enough seal, which I will not, I can already tell you this has a huge finger hole right here. If you were able to get a good enough seal, that wouldn't really matter that this hole's here because it would still be sealed to your face. You need the holes to be somewhere outside of that. We're not gonna have any problems because this thing isn't even gonna come close to holding onto my face all around, but let's test it out on this. So this thing advertises it's never supposed to exceed 20 decibels. Pretty similar design to the BroVR. Your two holes in the bottom there, but where it's pulling air instead of having a front exhaust, it's like a rear top exhaust. It goes in about as well as most all plastic facial interfaces do that isn't flexible. I mean, the bottom here, you don't have to put much pressure to unhook that part. And what happens over time to a lot of those is they tend to get worn out, and then this part just always ends up hanging out. You have to push it in like every time, which gets pretty annoying. With that there, this slides on. It goes in tight. You don't hear it much of a snap. There's a little one. It seems to stay in pretty solidly when you try and take it off. It's not easy to pull off again, so I'm not worried that's gonna fall off there. Looks all right. It looks kind of subtle, perfectly color matched the Quest. It's got the same texture as it, and when it's on there, it doesn't really draw attention like the BroVR or some of the bigger ones do. It just kind of looks like there's some extra box and you don't really know why. They aren't kidding about quiet. It is unusually quiet. So it seems to go low, medium, high when I press the button 3 times. It did come with a low charge, so I'm gonna charge it up a little bit more and see if that helps, because it's only got 2 of the 4 lights, which this is one of the only fans I've ever seen that has an indicator of how much battery it has on it. I do actually appreciate that. And at $33, that's more than I would have expected from it, because that's actually pretty low for a fan. It feels like it's blowing the air in instead of out. Nope, it's pulling the air out of the headset. Boy, it is, even on high, it is so little air movement though. Like I'm having to put it up to my lips to feel it. That's how little you can feel the air. Okay, let me juice this up a little and see if that helps, because I feel like the fan is just a negligible amount of air it's moving. Are you one that can drain direct from my Quest? Yep. Clever. I really do like the indicator light on this one, because instead of just blinking or flashing, like it shows that it's got 2 solid lights and now the 3rd and 4th are flashing. So I assume when it gets up to 3, then just the 4th will be flashing. It really is a true indicator of the power, which I think is remarkable. Technically, even though it's not fully charged, it should, now that it's plugged in, be able to give me its best airflow it can. Gosh, it is so little airflow. On high, I can feel it a little better, I feel like, now that it's plugged in. But it's like, if you thought the BroVR was subtle, this is barely there. I don't even feel it around my eyes or forehead like I usually do with the Bobo. The BroVR fan, you can tell when you're using it, is probably the cheapest fan out there. Lower price than any other, and it feels that way. It does deliver on its promise of being extremely quiet, but I feel like the reason why is because it's barely moving any air. It is moving it. Once you sweat, you start to notice it more. It's kind of like when you get out of the shower and you're all wet and everything feels colder. It's the same thing. Once your face is starting to sweat and you turn this thing on, okay, you feel the air a little bit. You can tell it's circulating then, but it's just nothing like the other fans. The BroVR just moves way more air, but it is another 30% higher in price. The battery indicator on it is probably my favorite feature about it. I wish every fan had that, because a lot of times I pick it up and I think, ooh, I didn't plug it in. Do I have enough battery? This communicates that to you, which I like. Beyond that, the very little airflow and the bigger problem, this is just based off, you know, the older designs of facial interfaces. This thing is just not comfortable on my face. I was feeling it. I was feeling it when I was doing pistol whip and other games. The only parts that are really touching my face shape here is right here and right here. Everything out here didn't feel like it was dispersing any of that pressure right. If they had a flexible interface that would do a little bit better of a job with that, this thing would be a lot more worthwhile. But it's just enough compromises that I can say, you know, it's okay. If you got this thing at a cheap price and you're using it, you're probably okay with it. But if you were gonna get one today and you said, which one should I get? It would definitely not be the BroVR one to me. There's just too many compromises and there are too many other models that are just better. I'll leave a link in the description to some of the other ones I like better. I'd love to know your thoughts out there. If you were one of those people who already got this one, what do you think? Do you like it? Or is it so subtle you don't even turn it on half the time? Because I kind of feel like that would happen with this one. But let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, and I will see you in another reality.